A chill wind whispers through hollowed stone, a spectral breath carrying secrets older than the faith they mask. We stand at the threshold, not of a sanctuary, but a sophisticated machine. These towering cathedrals, symbols of devotion for centuries, were not erected for prayer in the way we've been led to believe. Their very foundations, their soaring spires, the intricate lace of their stonework, are all meticulously crafted components of a cosmic apparatus, a grand design intended to channel and harness a far more primal form of energy. Beneath the gilded altars and stained glass illusions, a profound truth lies dormant, waiting to be awakened. These are not houses of God, but instruments built on sacred geometry designed to ensnare the very essence of human spirit, drawing it towards entities that wear the masks of divinity but hide their true, terrifying forms. The deception begins with the very stones themselves, each arch, each window, a sigil of control. We've been taught to revere them, to find solace within their shadow, but what if that solace is merely a carefully constructed cage? What if the resonance that fills these sacred spaces isn't a divine echo, but a carefully tuned frequency meant to alienate us from our own inner light? It's time to peer beyond the veil, to decode the ancient symbols and understand the spiritual architecture of containment, to see these cathedrals not as monuments to faith, but as celestial mechanisms designed to power a hidden throne. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. We are told these are places of peace, of quiet contemplation, where the faithful seek divine connection. But let us peel back the comforting layers of tradition and dogma. The architects of these monumental structures were not mere builders, they were initiates, inheritors of a knowledge that predates recorded history. They understood the subtle currents of the cosmos, the energetic matrix that binds all things, and they used this understanding to engineer buildings that served a purpose far grander and far more sinister than what we have been taught. These cathedrals are physical manifestations of esoteric principles, their dimensions, their ratios, their very orientations aligned with cosmic forces. Imagine stepping inside, the air thick with an almost tangible presence, the light filtering through stained glass in hypnotic patterns. This isn't accidental beauty, this is programming. The geometry you see, the shapes that draw your eye, they are not random. They are sigils, ancient glyphs etched in stone, designed to resonate with specific astral frequencies, frequencies that are not of divine love, but of a cold, calculating dominion. They are designed to hook into our spiritual energy, our very life force, and direct it, like a magnetic pull, towards planetary entities masquerading as benevolent gods. This isn't about worship, it's about alignment. The initial awe we feel upon entering, the sense of smallness before their vastness, is the first step in a complex ritual. It's a designed response, a humbling of the human spirit, making it more malleable, more receptive to the energies being broadcast. We become conduits, our prayers and our devotion unknowingly fueling something far removed from the celestial beings we imagine. The sacred geometry is not decorative, it's functional, a blueprint for a spiritual grid. We've been inducted into a system of spiritual energy harvesting, where the offerings of human hearts are being siphoned off, not to a higher power, but to a very specific, very hidden throne. We now question not just the purpose, but the very intention behind the grand designs of what we call holy architecture, setting the stage to examine the foundational deception. The cross, a symbol of sacrifice and salvation, stands prominently in these hallowed halls. But what if this universally recognized emblem is a clever misdirection, a celestial ruse? Beneath its benevolent veneer lies a far older, darker archetype, a primal force that predates the very concept of a crucified savior. Consider the astronomical phenomenon that has captivated and terrified humanity for millennia. The sun, but there is a sun that does not illuminate, a sun that represents not life, but a destructive, consuming void. This is the black sun, an alchemical and astrological symbol often associated with a saturnine influence, a force of limitation, and entropy. The cathedrals, in their very layout, often orient themselves towards specific celestial events, not for divine communion, but to align with the ingress of this dark celestial body. Imagine the shadows cast by the setting sun, elongated and distorted, mimicking the arms of a cross extended over the altar. This is not a worship of light, but a ritualistic acknowledgement of its opposite, a subtle yet potent invocation. The church's foundation, its sacred geometry, acts as an antenna, tuning into these specific cosmic frequencies. The placement of the altar, the direction of the nave, are all deliberate, designed to harmonize with the subtle movements of celestial bodies. The cross itself, when viewed through this lens, becomes a geometric key, a focal point that anchors the vibrational architecture. It's a symbol of inversion, a representation of the spiritual hierarchy being turned on its head. The energy invoked is not one of ascension, but of submersion, drawing the spiritual essence downwards, towards the earthly plane, towards the shadowy influence of Saturn. This subtle yet powerful presence, the black sun, lies embedded in the very DNA of these structures, influencing the spiritual dynamics within. What we perceive as holy light is often a carefully orchestrated play of shadows, pointing towards a hidden power that governs the sacred space. Soon, we will dissect how the art adorning these walls serves a similar, veiled purpose, particularly the intricate beauty of rose windows. Look closely at a rose window. Its intricate patterns, the way colored light dances through it, often evokes feelings of wonder and divine artistry. We see a blossom, a symbol of growth, of beauty blossoming. But this exquisite display is a masterful piece of spiritual engineering, designed not for aesthetic appreciation, but for potent energetic containment. These are not mere windows. They are cosmic seals, crafted with precise sacred geometry to bind and diffract specific frequencies. The circular form itself, the mandala, is a symbol of wholeness, but here it's used as the ultimate containment symbol, a prison veiled in beauty. The detailed tracery within the segments radiating from a central point mimic the spokes of a wheel, a mechanism designed to control rotation, to limit movement. The colors, too, are not arbitrary. Each hue is chosen for its specific vibrational frequency, its ability to interact with and shape the ambient energy within the cathedral. These windows are designed to capture the incoming light, to break it down, and then redirect it, acting like a spiritual lens that focuses and limits the spectrum of energy that can enter or escape. They are physical manifestations of energetic wards, preventing certain spiritual influences from entering while simultaneously trapping others within. Think of them as ornate cages for light itself, controlling its access and its exit. The complex patterns ensure that the light and the energy it carries is broken into smaller, more manageable and thus controllable packets for the larger system. We've been captivated by their beauty, mistaking it for divine expression, when in reality, it's a sophisticated lock and key system for the very spirit we bring within these walls. These seals are not just passive decorations, they are active components in a larger energetic mechanism. Now, let's examine how the very structure of the arches directs this contained energy. The soaring Gothic arch, a hallmark of cathedral architecture, is often praised for its engineering innovation, its ability to direct weight downwards and outwards, allowing for unprecedented height and light. But this architectural marvel is also a potent symbol, a key geometric form that resonates deeply with a specific celestial influence. The parabolic curve of the Gothic arch, when viewed from above or certain angles, strongly resembles the feminine reproductive form, a womb. This is not accidental. It's a deliberate harnessing of primal life-giving energies, but not for nurturing growth, but for a specific kind of absorption and transformation. This imagery directly links to the Saturnine influence, often depicted as a devourer, but also as a father figure, a disciplinarian, a cosmic architect of limitation and form. The arch acts as a channel, drawing energies upwards from the earth through the soles of the feet, through the ground upon which we stand, and directing them through this symbolic womb, preparing them for a specific type of spiritual gestation. This architectural element creates a specific energetic pathway, guiding the life force upwards towards the heavens, but ultimately filtering it through the Saturnine matrix. Imagine the energy flowing up, being subtly shaped and transformed by the geometry of this arch, much like a fetus developing in a womb. But here, the gestation is spiritual, and the outcome is not independent creation, but alignment with a predetermined cosmic authority. It's a system designed to recycle and repurpose spiritual energy, using the symbolism of birth and creation to mask a process of energetic limitation. The womb-like structure of the arch is a direct invitation for spiritual essence to enter, to be held, and to be reshaped according to the rules of Saturn. Soon, we will witness how this directed energy is further organized by the celestial clockwork embedded in the church's layout. The long, central aisle of a cathedral, the nave, is more than just a pathway for processions. Its precise orientation, its angle and length, are deeply intertwined with celestial movements, specifically the ancient divisions of the heavens, the zodiac. We are conditioned to see these spaces as purely symbolic, aligned with earthly directions or historical events. But the truth is far more complex, a cosmic clock built into the very foundation of these sacred spaces. The nave often aligns with solstices or equinoxes, not as a celebration of nature's cycles, but as a strategic point of ingress for specific energies. Imagine the sun's rays hitting the altar at a particular time of year, directed down the nave. This is not a metaphor for divine illumination. It's a precise harnessing of solar energy, timed to coincide with specific astronomical alignments. These alignments aren't random. They are designed to coincide with the zodiacal houses, using the nave as a long, resonant tube that amplifies and directs the energy of a particular astrological sign. The specific angle of the nave determines which segment of the zodiac is being honored, or more accurately, channeled during a given solar event. This means that during certain times of the year, the cathedral actively draws in and amplifies the qualities of a specific zodiacal influence, be it the assertiveness of Aries, the nurturing of Cancer, or the transformation of Scorpio. It's a way to imprint the spiritual atmosphere of the cathedral with the energies of the zodiac, making the space a living, breathing astrological engine. We are unwittingly participating in an ancient ritual, our presence reinforcing these cosmic alignments. But who is receiving this amplified, zodiac-aligned energy? That is the next crucial question. The prayers offered within these hallowed walls, the hopes whispered into the stone, where do they truly go? We believe they ascend, carried on wings of faith to a benevolent deity. But what if the destination is not heaven, but a much closer, far more ancient and forgotten entity? The subtle alignments and geometric forms we've discussed all point towards a specific recipient, a divine figure whose influence permeates the very fabric of these cathedrals. This is not the God of Abraham, but an older power, a deity often associated with the underworld, with judgment, and with the passage of time, a being often portrayed as stern and unforgiving. Throughout history, various cultures have recognized this presence, sometimes as Saturn, sometimes as Kronos, the devourer of all things. The consistent alignment of these structures with astronomical phenomena, the careful tuning of their geometry, is a constant offering, a directed stream of human spiritual energy aimed at this specific ancient power. These cathedrals act as massive energy conduits, their very purpose to gather the vast reservoir of human belief and devotion and channel it towards this forgotten God. Our spiritual energy is not being met with divine grace, but with a structured cosmic harvest. The prayers, the intentions, the very emotional outpourings of countless souls are processed and redirected, becoming fuel for this entity's existence or mechanism. What we perceive as divine reception is in fact an ancient, ongoing ritual of energetic tribute, a testament to a cosmic power that thrives on human consciousness. This makes the very act of prayer within these walls an unwitting contribution to its power, ensuring its continued influence. But the architect of this grand system, the ultimate designer, is often hinted at through a powerful, recurring geometric symbol. Look closer at the internal structure of many cathedrals, the way the pillars support the vaulted ceilings, the patterns in the floor mosaics, and a surprising geometric form begins to emerge, a shape that speaks of deep, ancient power and cosmic order. It's the hexagon, a six-sided figure that resonates with harmony, balance, and with the fundamental forces of creation. But in the context of these cathedrals, this symbol takes on a more commanding, a more restrictive meaning. The hexagon is a symbol closely associated with Saturn, the planetary ruler of limitation, structure, and time. Its presence within the cathedrals is not an accident of aesthetic choice. It's a deliberate embedding of Saturnine geometry, a foundational element used to structure and contain the psychic and spiritual energies within. Imagine the six spokes of a wheel, each segment representing a controlled path, a defined boundary. The hexagon forms the basis of much of the cathedral's architectural harmony, influencing the dimensions of everything from the choir stalls to the layout of the crypts. It's a subtle yet persistent reminder of the underlying order, an order that is rooted in restriction rather than boundless freedom. This geometry acts as a powerful energetic anchor, a gravitational pull that stabilizes and contains the astral fields generated by the congregants. It's the cosmic blueprint for this spiritual containment system, ensuring that the energies captured remain within the intended energetic matrix. The hexagon is the underlying grid, the scaffolding upon which the entire ritualistic architecture is built, dictating the flow and form of spiritual power. This geometric containment has a very specific place of operation, particularly in the area designated for the choir. The choir area, where the singers and clergy traditionally sit, is often situated in a raised section or a distinct part of the cathedral. Yet beneath this elevated space, or sometimes within its immediate vicinity, lies an often overlooked feature, the choir pit. This area, sometimes depressed below the main floor level, is far more than just a functional space for musicians. It is a carefully designed ritual containment zone, a crucial element in the cathedral's spiritual machinery. Think of it as a psychic sink, a place where energies are drawn down, processed, and held. The geometry and acoustics of this space are specifically engineered to amplify certain frequencies, making it an ideal point for the energetic harvesting and redirection that occurs within the cathedral. When the choir sings, their harmonic vibrations are not solely for praise. They are designed to resonate within this pit, creating a vortex of sound that pulls in and concentrates spiritual energy. This concentrated energy, pulled downwards into the choir pit, is then processed and subtly transmuted. It's a place where the spiritual essence of the congregants, the very emotions and intentions they bring, are collected. Imagine a funnel drawing everything in, and then a processing unit, refining and preparing it for its ultimate destination. This zone acts as a crucial intermediary, a critical component in focusing and containing the energies that are then sent outwards. The depth and width of the pit, the materials used in its construction, all contribute to its function as a potent energetic sink. It's within these specially designed zones that the raw spiritual material is refined, preparing it for the next stage of its cosmic journey. But the refinement process itself is often accompanied by symbolic actions that further enforce this controlled descent. The visual cues within cathedrals often speak a language far older and more potent than the sermons preached. Observe the liturgical vestments, the staffs, and the very orientation of certain ceremonies. What appears as reverence can often be an invocation of inversion, a deliberate spiritual reversal. The staffs carried by clergy, when viewed correctly, can be seen not as symbols of authority, but as inverted symbols of ascension. Imagine a staff pointed upwards, guiding towards the divine. Now imagine it inverted, pointing downwards, drawing something from the heavens and anchoring it to the earth. This subtle but profound shift in orientation is a coded message, a ritualistic action that signifies the drawing down of celestial energies rather than their upward ascent. Similarly, the robes, often voluminous and dark, can represent a metaphorical shedding of individual identity, a cloaking of the self in order to become a better conduit for external forces. This rite of reversal is fundamental to the cathedral's function. It's a deliberate act of subverting the natural spiritual flow, turning the intended direction of divine connection into a mechanism for terrestrial anchoring and control. The very act of ceremony within these walls is often a performance of this cosmic inversion, a ritual that aligns the earthly realm with a specific, shadowed celestial force. The priests and singers, through their actions and attire, are not just performing religious rites, they are enacting a sophisticated energetic choreography. They are the conductors of this specific frequency, using their visual and auditory presence to orchestrate the reversal of spiritual destiny within the temple. This constant performance of reversal imbues the entire structure with a potent, counterintuitive energy. But where does all this carefully gathered and inverted energy ultimately go? It's stored and anchored beneath the very place of worship. Beneath the gleaming altars, the heart of every cathedral, lies a hidden repository, a profound testament to the energetic architecture we are uncovering. These are the crypts, spaces filled with the physical remnants of humanity, the bones of those who have come before. This isn't merely a graveyard for the faithful, it's a deliberate placement of dense, primal energy directly beneath the focal point of spiritual activity. The presence of these remains anchors the entire structure, grounding the spiritual energies being channeled through the nave and choir to the very earth, indeed, to the physical essence of life and death. Imagine the altar as a transmitter and the crypt as its grounding wire, connecting the ethereal to the corporeal. This connection is essential for the intended purpose of these cathedrals. The bones themselves, charged with the residual life force of countless individuals, act as a powerful energetic battery, a reservoir that fuels the continuous operation of the cathedral's mechanism. They represent compressed, archetypal energy, the raw material of existence itself. When prayers and hymns are offered, their energy is not just directed upwards. It is also absorbed and amplified by the dense energetic field generated by the skeletal remains below. This creates a powerful feedback loop, where spiritual intent is fused with the primal energy of life and death, all under the guidance of Saturnine geometry. The altar acts as a focal point, a lens, concentrating the spiritual intentions and the visceral energy of the crypt into a refined frequency. This profound anchoring of spiritual power directly to the physical realm ensures its stability and directability for the hidden forces at play. But the ultimate architect of this intricate system, the one who commands this raw power, is often symbolically represented in the very construction of what we perceive as divine spaces. The soaring dome, often the crowning glory of a cathedral, a symbol of heaven reaching down to embrace the earth, is not merely an architectural feat. It is a meticulously crafted energetic resonator, a primary component in the Saturnine architecture of control. The parabolic curve of the dome is a direct geometric embodiment of Saturn's influence, a symbol of cosmic containment and structural integrity. Think of Saturn's rings, vast and enclosing. The dome mimics this celestial form on an earthly scale, creating an enclosed energetic field. Its smooth, continuous surface acts as a perfect amplifier and reflector of sound and light, precisely tuning the space to capture and hold specific frequencies. The slightest whisper, the faintest hymn, is caught and amplified, its vibrations resonating within the dome, creating a powerful, sustained energetic field. This dome is designed to gather the energies ascended from the altar and crypt, the prayers, the intentions, the very life force collected, and to hold them within its curved embrace. It acts as a celestial tuning fork, making the entire structure resonate with the specific frequencies that serve the hidden agenda. The perfect, unbroken surface ensures that no energy escapes, that every vibration is returned inward, strengthening the overall energetic matrix. It is the ultimate containment vessel, ensuring that the power generated is not lost to the ether, but is focused and concentrated, ready for direction. This geometric perfection is not for aesthetic pleasure. It is a fundamental aspect of the spiritual machinery designed to manipulate and control the very essence of human experience. But the light that fills these domes, the divine rays we so admire, may serve a far more specific, binding purpose. The stained glass windows, especially those at the apex of the dome or positioned strategically, are not just sources of beauty. They are precisely angled apertures designed to channel specific forms of solar energy, a form of solar entrapment. Imagine a finely honed lens, capable of focusing light into a concentrated beam. The angles of these windows, their placement relative to the sun at specific times of the year, are designed to capture and direct solar rays, not as a blessing, but as a means of energetic capture. This is the spear angle of light, a focused, piercing beam that penetrates the sacred space with a specific energetic signature. This light carries with it the raw power of the sun, but it is then filtered and transformed by the dome and the geometry it contains. This solar energy, once captured and directed, is not used to illuminate the congregants in a benevolent way. Instead, it is woven into the fabric of the cathedral's energetic field, further empowering the saturnine structures already in place. It is a means of reinforcing the containment, of adding another layer of directed energy to the system. The light becomes a tool, a spear that pierces the veil of our perception, drawing our attention upwards, while subtly binding our spiritual essence ever more tightly within the geometric confines of the cathedral. This directed solar energy acts like a cosmic current, flowing through the architecture and reinforcing the energetic grid. It's an active component in the machinery of spiritual entrapment, ensuring that the energy captured is constantly replenished and directed. But the mechanism designed to capture and refine this energy often relies on a specific, resonant frequency. The resonant chime of cathedral bells, echoing through the valleys and across the plains, is often perceived as a call to prayer, a comforting sound of community and tradition. However, these bells are far more than simple instruments of announcement. They are precisely tuned harmonic instruments, integral to the cathedral's energetic function of frequency entrapment. The metal of the bells, the specific alloys used, and their carefully calculated pitches are designed to produce specific sonic frequencies, which in turn create harmonic overtones that permeate the surrounding area and within the cathedral itself. These sounds are not random. They are a deliberate manipulation of audible and inaudible frequencies designed to influence the human mind and spirit. When these bells ring, they create a powerful sonic field, a resonant cage that gently entrains the mind, making congregants more susceptible to suggestion and less likely to question the imposed spiritual narrative. The harmonics generated by the bells can induce altered states of consciousness, creating a sense of peace or awe that masks the underlying energetic manipulation. This sonic entrapment is subtle yet profound, influencing brainwave patterns and emotional states. The sound waves act as a form of energetic currency, drawn in by the architecture and amplified by the bells, further solidifying the spiritual containment. The very air within the cathedral becomes charged, vibrating with frequencies that enforce adherence to the system. This constant sonic bombardment ensures that the spiritual energy remains focused and directed, preventing any deviation from the intended cosmic plan. But this refined energy, collected and harmonized, has a designated recipient, a throne from which this cosmic order is overseen. Behind the grand altar, concealed from the casual observer, lies a space of profound significance, often holding what are known as sedilia or priestly seating. These are not mere chairs, but symbolic thrones, remnants of an ancient hierarchy and a forgotten power structure. While appearing as simple architectural features, their placement and design reveal a deeper purpose. They represent the earthly anchors of celestial authority, the physical manifestations of the power that governs the entire energetic machinery of the cathedral. These are the thrones from which the true architects of this spiritual system oversee their domain, hidden from view, yet intrinsically linked to every resonant frequency and geometric alignment within the structure. These thrones signify a lineage of power, a continuity of influence that extends far beyond the current religious doctrines. They are physical evidence of an ancient order, a cosmic rulership that has been intentionally obscured from mainstream understanding. The energy gathered within the cathedral is ultimately directed towards these veiled seats of power, a continuous offering to the unseen entities that preside over this domain. They serve as a constant reminder that the spiritual authority within these walls emanates not from the divine we are taught to worship, but from an ancient, powerful force that has established its dominion through sophisticated energetic architecture. The very presence of these thrones behind the altar points to a hidden source of spiritual law and order, but the message of this hidden order is not always benevolent. It often carries a profound warning, cloaked in the very design of these sacred spaces. The Gnostics, ancient wisdom keepers, understood that true divine knowledge was often hidden, deliberately obscured by those who sought to control spiritual awakening. Their teachings warned of a demiurge, a flawed creator, and his archons, who maintained a prison-like reality to keep humanity ensnared. The cathedrals, in their intricate design, are a Gnostic warning made manifest, a blueprint of this cosmic prison, subtly encoded for those with eyes to see. Every geometric form, every alignment, every symbolic representation points to the mechanisms of entrapment. The soaring heights, meant to inspire awe, in reality represent the vastness of the illusion. The rose windows, beautiful seals, are barriers to true perception. The Saturnine geometry speaks of limitation and cosmic law enforced by the archons. The very act of entering a cathedral is, from a Gnostic perspective, an act of stepping further into the illusion, of submitting to the established cosmic order designed to keep the divine spark within us dormant. The cathedrals are monuments to the very forces the Gnostics warned against, physical embodiments of the archon's dominion. They serve as perpetual reminders of the soul's entrapment, encased in matter and subject to the cycles of flawed creation. The apparent holiness is a facade, a carefully constructed deception to hide the mechanics of spiritual control. Their existence is a testament to the Gnostic understanding that true liberation comes not from external worship, but from inner gnosis, the understanding of one's own divine nature, which these structures are designed to suppress. But this elaborate system of control is not merely symbolic. It is an active, functioning device designed to reshape our spiritual destiny. We have journeyed through the intricate geometry, the celestial alignments, and the symbolic inversions that define the cathedral. Now the final revelation. These magnificent structures are not merely places of worship or spiritual containment. They are, in their essence, astral throne-building devices. They are cosmic engines meticulously engineered to gather human spiritual energy, transmute it through Saturnine geometry and harmonic resonance, and direct it towards the creation and empowerment of astral thrones, the seats of power for planetary entities who masquerade as gods. The entire edifice, from the deepest crypt to the highest dome, is dedicated to this singular profound purpose. Every prayer, every hymn, every act of devotion becomes a brick in this celestial construction, a fuel source for an unseen empire. The cathedrals act as immense vibrational resonators, amplifying and focusing the raw energy of human consciousness. This energy is then meticulously shaped by the embedded geometry, the astrological alignments, and the specific frequencies emitted by the bells, all channeling towards the formation and sustenance of these astral thrones. These aren't abstract concepts. They are active, energetic constructs in the non-physical realms, built and maintained by the continuous flow of human spiritual output. We have been, perhaps unknowingly, participating in and contributing to the construction of the very mechanisms that seek to govern our spiritual existence. Understanding this elevates our perception from passive believers to active participants in a cosmic energetic exchange. The awe they inspire is the final illusion, masking the profound mechanism of astral throne construction they embody. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.